Hello friends, welcome to my next video tutorial on Java for beginners. In this video, I am going to discuss about the class inheritance and how to use class inheritance in Java. So, is it possible to acquire all the members of a class and use them in another class by relating the objects of two classes? Yes, it is possible with the help of inheritance. Means inheritance is a concept where new classes can be produced from existing classes. The newly created class acquire all the features of the existing class from where it is derived. Okay, now to understand this concept properly, I will explain you with the help of diagram. Let's say, for example, there is a shape class and there is a rectangle class and there is a triangle class. Okay, we have three classes. First, we'll talk about shape class in terms of a design. And we can say that shape has some properties like shape has length and shape has width. And to set these width and height values in the shape class, I can use a method called set value. Okay. Now, if we talk about rectangle class, here I need same properties like length and width. And we have another method in rectangle class, that is area method, in which we are going to calculate the area of the rectangle with the help of length and width variable. Okay, and same goes for a triangle class also. Here we can have same properties like length, width and area method. Here area method will calculate the area of a triangle with the help of length and width variable. Okay, so this is about all the three classes. Now, if you observe carefully, there are certain properties among these three classes which are common in terms of design. As you know very well, every rectangle has to be some type of shape and every triangle is also some type of shape. But every shape is not really a rectangle and every shape is not really a triangle. So these things representing the kind of relationship is called inheritance. Understood? So it means if we take the common properties which they both rectangle and triangle class can share, and that properties are length and width. So we do not need to define it in separate place in rectangle also and in triangle also. We can define these things at a single place and we can use them using the inheritance property. Okay, so it means we can share some properties in between them whenever some class inherits from some other class. Now let's go towards the code part. Okay, so here what we are going to do, we are going to make three classes. First class I will call it shape class, second one is going to be rectangle class and third one is a triangle class. Okay, now in my shape class I have a property length and width which is common in both rectangle and triangle classes, which I have already told. Okay, so I will define two variables. First one is integer length and second one is integer width. Okay, and here I am going to define one method. This method will set the values of width and height of a rectangle and triangle. Okay, so this will be void set value method, and here we will define integer L comma integer W as a parameters, and whatever user will pass the values of L and value of W, we will just say length is equal to L and width is equal to W. Okay, so by this method we are going to set the values, right? So this is about shape class. Now I am going to rectangle class. So in my rectangle class, how we can inherit from this shape class? We can inherit from shape class in my rectangle class by using keyword extend. Okay, so we need to use the keyword extend, and then we use the class name from which we are extending, right? So rectangle class is inheriting, or we can say derived from shape class, right? In the same way, I will extend triangle class also from shape, because shape is base class from which I am inheriting, right? So we can call this shape class as a base class, or as a parent class, or we can say super class. Okay, and this rectangle and triangle classes we can call as a derived class, or child class, or we can say subclasses, right? So it is clear that whenever or if you are inheriting from a base class to a derived class, then all its members are accessible in your derived class, correct? So these member length and width and set value method in shape class can be accessed by this rectangle class as well as triangle class, because we are extending these two classes from the shape class. Okay, and in my rectangle class I am just going to calculate the area of the rectangle only, nothing else. So we can just define a method public and return type double, and this will be the area method. And what this method is going to do, it will just return the area of rectangle. So just return length into width, and we can see clearly this length and width here that we haven't declared inside the rectangle class, right? But this length and width are members of shape class, are accessible in this rectangle class also. We are not getting any error, right? In a similar way, in my triangle class, the area of a triangle is half of length into width. So we will just divide it by 2. Okay. So till this point, we have everything. We have method which will calculate the area of rectangle. We have another method which will calculate the area of triangle, and we are setting these values via this shape class, right? Okay, now let's go to main class. In our main method, we can create the instance of the rectangle class, like rectangle R is equal to new rectangle, and then for calculating the area we first need to set the values. So we will set the values of the rectangle. For that we will use instance of a rectangle class dot set value, because we are inheriting from the shape class in rectangle class. So this set value method is also accessible in the rectangle class via its instance, right? So in this method we are passing length 10 and width 20. Similarly, we are going to create the instance of our triangle class also. So triangle T equal to new triangle, and in same way we can access set value method from shape class for our triangle class, and we are passing length is 20 and width is 30. Okay. for display the area of rectangle and triangle on the screen, we are going to write system.out.println methods. So for rectangle, we just write system.out.println method, and in here we need to call the area method from rectangle instance R, which is something like this. Rectangle area is equal to plus r dot area method. And in the same way, for triangle class, we just write system.out.println method, and here we need to call the area method from triangle instance. So we have to write something like this: triangle area is equal to plus t dot area method. Okay, so this is done. Now we will run the program and we will get the answer. So it is displaying on the screen, area of rectangle is 200, which is 10 into 20 width into height, right? And area of triangle is equal to 20 into 30 divided by 2, which is equal to 300, right? Understood this program? Okay. So once again, I'll repeat, whenever we use inheritance, all the properties of the base class is available in derived class. In our case, base class is a shape class and derived class is a rectangle and triangle class. Okay, so all the members of the base class which are protected and public are accessible inside our rectangle class and triangle class. Okay, so in this way you can extend the property of a shape class to the rectangle class as well as in triangle class. Understood? Okay, so after knowing all those things, there are some of the key benefits of inheritance, like code reusability. Means we can minimize the amount of duplicate code in our program by sharing common code among several subclasses. For example, in our program, we reuse length and width members of the shape class in my rectangle and triangle class. Hence, we can do better organization of code and make our code smaller and simpler. Another benefit is flexibility. Inheritance can also make code more flexible to change. For example, rectangle class area method has calculated the area based on the rectangle parameters, and triangle area method calculated based on the triangle parameters. Another benefit of inheritance is extensibility. We can extend the base class logic as per requirement of the derived classes. For example, we have written the set value method in base class and we use the logic of set value method in our area methods which are defined in rectangle and triangle classes. Another benefit of inheritance is data hiding. Base class can decide to keep some data private so that it cannot be accessible to the derived classes. That we will discuss when we talk about encapsulation. And one more benefit, that is overriding. So with inheritance, we will be able to override the methods of the base class so that meaningful implementation of a base class method can be designed in the derived classes. That also we will discuss when we talk about polymorphism and overriding. Okay, so this is all about the inheritance. I hope you understood the basic concept of inheritance in Java, and I hope you enjoyed this video. So please like, share and subscribe this video. Thank you.